Hello.
What's up?
Welcome back to the Marriage Mixtape. I am Kimberly.
My name is Travis.
Yeah, we're back and we're on episode 7.
Episode 7. Yeah, we're making our way through the years, right? What year is it now?
Now we are ending 2003 and we're entering into 2004.
2004. It's New Year's, right? So today's topic, at least for us in 2004, if we're following our marriage journey through the years, the topic is unplanned
pregnancies.
Unplanned pregnancy.
Yeah.
Pregnancy outside of marriage, the challenges of your first child, the timelines that we all have for our lives, and the really silly decisions that mess up our timelines. So,
Yeah.
but what's the song
So
for today?
Today's song is a song that I played so heavily, which is Zion by Lauryn Hill. This song truly was the theme song for 2004. It was like now looking back on the words and the song itself, not realizing like it resonated so heavily. And at the time, I thought I understood the words, but throughout the years, really understanding those words. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like,
You feel like it's taken on deeper meaning,
oh, yeah.
especially now that you are following Jesus. I mean, at the time we were not following Jesus. And when you listen to the album Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, I think you realize it's actually a faith-based album.
Yes.
Like the entire album is about God.
Yeah,
and following
because
God.
just listen again. You really, once you're listening to the song, read the lyrics. Like back in the day when you had a CD, you also had the lyrics with it. So
you remember that when the lyrics came in the CD? And
it was a log.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm realizing like this song, I truly believe God like planted this song in her heart for those words to come out the way that it did.
Yeah.
And the testimonies I feel are coming out of this song. So, yeah.
You want me to play a little snippet? Let's see what we can, if we can play.
I'm going to count you down.
There's like a little intro here and then the beat drops.
That's good.
I
think that's good.
No, you got to hear it. It's got a this was a dope song.
Yep.
We're going to go over the lyrics. Look, we've been having copyright issues, so if y'all want to... If y'all want to hear the song, like go back and vibe to it.
I still play that album to this day. The kids are like, Mom, no, like I'm playing it. I'm playing it and playing it and playing it. Anyway.
Yeah. So let's talk about the lyrics.
Yes.
Do you want to go through a couple of verses and we'll see how nostalgic we're feeling?
I may get emotional. That's going to be a rare thing. So don't get too used to it. Do I want to start from the beginning? Yes. Okay. So unsure of what the balance held, I touched my belly overwhelmed by what I had been chosen to perform. But then an angel came one day, told me to kneel down and pray. For unto me a man-child would be born. Like, I'm trying to think, okay, so when I found out I was pregnant was what? We were kind of like discussing that. I think it was like end of 2003, beginning of 2004, because we made an announcement to a small amount of people in 2004.
Yeah.
Had no clue how far along I was.
Well, I think you were pregnant going into 2004.
Yes.
Like at the end, even by Christmas or New Year's, you were already pregnant.
Yes.
We didn't know.
No.
Yeah.
And, during that time, you have to wait a certain amount of weeks before you can actually go into the doctor's office and all of those things. So, had no clue. I was like, okay, I must be like 2 weeks pregnant. Well, I was in for a surprise. I was actually like 3 to 4 months pregnant. And I think my first initial doctor's appointment was in February. So it was like something around there. So I had was just about done with my first
Yeah.
trimester and didn't have a clue. Insane.
Yeah. So I mean, and the correlation of these lyrics even to the Bible, it very much lines up with what we could interpret Mary's experience is. Having Jesus, right? Her first child, she's a virgin. She hasn't even been given in marriage. And this whole idea of unplanned pregnancy. Now, I don't understand, or I guess I don't know Lauryn Hill's story with this first child, right? This is her first son. But she relates it to this experience that there's a divine blessing, a divine gift in this. So how does it keep going?
So, which I actually do know a little bit of backstory on the song. So when she became pregnant was at the height of her career. And so she had all of her handlers behind the scene telling her, you should not move forward with this pregnancy because it's
To actually terminate the pregnancy.
And so that it wouldn't accelerate her career in the way that they were hoping for it to be. So that's a little bit backstory from what I gathered as far as that song. So yeah, even more so impactful. So the next portion of that, it's, whoa, this crazy circumstance. I knew his life deserved a chance, but everybody told me to be smart. Look at your career, they said. Lauren, baby, use your head. But instead, I chose to use my heart. So, I mean, who cannot relate to that? That you're feeling the pressure of outsiders telling you on what your next step should be. That, hey, you have this going for you and this and that and that. And adding a baby to that just complicates things. Why would you want to do that? You can do that later on in life. Why do it right now? Yeah, I mean, to find out that I was pregnant at that time was a very big shock. To find out how far along I was even more of a shock, and just the amount of guilt of what was I doing during that first trimester? How did I not know?
Yeah.
How oblivious was I?
Do you think if we found out earlier in the process or earlier in that trimester, do you think that we would have gone through with an abortion, a termination?
It would have been possible. I don't want to say no, and I don't want to say yes.
Was anybody pressuring you? I'm trying to remember.
No,
or
because again,
even trying to influence you in one particular way or another.
Because again, I was already about to enter into second trimester, so nobody was really saying anything. I think had we found out in the very beginning, it might have been different.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Again, that's hard to say if I would have said yes to it or no. I think I just would have felt even more. Either way, I was feeling guilty, all of it, just because of my upbringing and what I was taught, and how could I have made this situation take place.
We know how it happened.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We need a little comic relief somewhere along this journey, because this is going to be a rough one.
Yeah. Which is so ironic that I said oops, because I'm 2003, that oops song, there was, that oops song. If you want to look that up, that's Twitter. On you. Yeah. And that literally described how we went from oops by Tweet to Zion by Lauryn Hill. But yeah. Honestly, I would say no, I did not feel any outside pressure in the midst of my pregnancy, but I was feeling a lot of guilt and scared to death to even tell more people that I was pregnant.
Sure. The
judgment that I was going to have, I knew I was going to have a lot of judgment. And it wasn't necessarily from friends that I was concerned about. I was more so concerned about my family.
Yeah.
And how much fear they had put into me to the point where it felt almost like crippling fear. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think about this whole idea of unplanned pregnancy, and even my own life. Like, I was an unplanned pregnancy and outside of wedlock, and not inside of even a relationship, and my mom was faced with actually quite a bit of pressure from different people to, like, you're so young, you should have an abortion. And now this is in the 80s, right? Early 80s. And it's crazy to think, like, man, this whole idea of abortion has been happening for a long time, and she chose to keep me. I think maybe in this, similar journey of, like, women having to say, like, do you use your head? I love the lyrics, like, they're saying to use your head, like, make a logical, reasonable decision. But it's really not logical or reasonable. If anything, it's selfish. And, but Lauryn chose to use her heart. You chose to use your heart. My mom chose to use her heart and actually keep me in. And, like, I'm grateful to be here. And, I've made lots of mistakes, but I feel like God has turned it all around, It's just a beautiful story. So I think it absolutely is a sacrifice. And I mean, you give up your body, you give up your heart, your time, in order to have a child and raise them. And so, well, I interviewed a bunch of the next generation at the university last week. And we got some really good thoughts on this idea of unplanned pregnancy, on having a child outside of wedlock, outside of marriage. Is abortion, I asked them, is abortion a viable solution, or a solution, like, to a scenario where you have an unplanned pregnancy? So we're going to talk about this. We're going to play some of their responses, and we can pause it and react to it as we go along. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. Y'all tune in. Come on. Stay with us. And actually, if you want to see this video, we actually have it on the channel as well. It's just like a 5-minute video of these interviews with these kids. So I like asking the next generation about this, and I hope that they are learning from this podcast. But here we go. What would be the ideal age for you to have your first child?
I want to have my first child around when I'm like 26.
Probably like 35.
Okay.
I feel like that gives me a good amount of time to have with them, and that way I'm not too old by the time they're graduating, high school and college. I still have.
Okay, well, for me, this is kind of hard because I don't see myself having children.
Really?
Yeah, I just, no, I don't think I can.
I can't wait to have kids, but I want to have, enough money and resources to give my kid what he needs,
Like 32.
32?
Yeah.
27. It gives me time to get in my career and then also think about, having kids, and if I want to do that. I want to get myself in a good career and be financially set.
What do you think is the scariest part? So these kids are 18, 19, 20, in this age range, and they're in the thick of it with college and school and thinking about their future and career and all those things. And we were in that season.
I was
right?
in that season of being in school, working full time, partying. And how did I balance all? And now I'm about to throw a baby into the mix.
I think we had just turned 21, right? Or 22. We were 21 when we met, ish.
Yeah, something like
there.
that.
Somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah. And
22.
you had just turned 22. And I was Or no, we were 22.
Yeah, well, no, we were
Okay.
22.
Clearly our math is so off.
We are. We were 22 when Trent was born. Right? No?
23. So you had just turned 23.
Okay.
And I was about to turn 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was
According to
born.
the birth
He was born in
certificate.
September, so we were 22, and then I turned 23, and we were turning 23 as he was born, kind of like in that season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're in this age. So, like, it's earlier than I think most young adults would choose to have kids. Now,
But at the same time, I was older than my own mother when she gave birth to me.
yeah, how old
So
was your mom?
She was 19.
Okay.
So
My mom was 24 when this unplanned pregnancy.
so I was like,
Were
I'm
you
good.
unplanned? Were you outside of marriage?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. And I think this is like pretty common in different families and different family circles. And I think people can weigh in. They maybe have different family experiences, but many of us come from unplanned pregnancy outside of marriage, right? And we got to think about what are the effects of that on the family, on us, on society as a whole. And, if you look at generations past, how old was your grandmother when she first had her first child?
So I had a conversation with my grandmother not too long ago, probably like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, yeah, I know I've asked you questions before, but, sometimes you don't fully listen. And I was like, let me ask her again, because it was coming up on her first child's birthday. I was like, how old were you when you first had her? And she was like, oh, I think she was between 16 and 18 when she first had her.
That's a pretty big gap.
Yeah.
But she was a teenager.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she was a teenager. And I believe she was married to my grandfather
Yeah.
when she had my aunt. So she either had just gotten married or they had already been married,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And she was a young mom. She ended up having 5 kids by the time she was 25. Yeah.
Really? Wow. That's a very quick and young to have all of your kids done by, right?
Yeah.
And I think about us, we started pretty early, and I'm actually glad that we did start early because we are going to be approaching 50 as our last son.
50
no,
where?
No.
50
We,
where?
we will be approaching 50 when Levi is ready to leave the house. So I think about our 50s without kids, being able to go and we really have quite a bit of freedom. We have freedom now, but it'll be even more.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be a possibility we'd be grandparents at that point too.
I'd actually hope that we would be grandparents by then. I think that would be, yeah, we should be grandparents by then for sure.
God willing, yeah.
God willing,
And-
Lord, make it happen.
Well, right
Not
situation,
unplanned, though.
Right situation. I mean, it's really good too because we've also have this open conversation with our own kids about this is where you come from. This is what we were like. This is what your grandparents were like, and just having this open conversation so they're aware. And I let them know I don't want to put fear in you in the same way that fear was put in me, to the point where you don't come and tell me something and you're already deep into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think about when I made the baby announcement, I wasn't making a baby announcement until I was 6 months pregnant, So it was just kind of I don't want that. I want it to be healthy conversations to be had with our kids. I want a healthy relationship,
To be open and
Yeah.
to know what's happening and
and how to guide them.
So what's the ideal age? And I think the big thing is the fertility rate in our country has dropped drastically. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I mean, if you look at from the 1950s to today, I think the fertility rate today is between 1.6, 1.8, and it kind of fluctuates in there. And that means that for every childbearing woman in the country, there's only 1.6 or 1.8 children that are born per female, right? And that's actually, it's like drastically dropped. And what will the effects of that fertility rate dropping? How will that affect future generations? How will that affect the economy over time? So there's definitely some social things that happen with that. But we also see that like families are being started later and later in life. I mean, you heard some of the ages, 27, 32. Nobody said later than 32 is the oldest that we heard, at least from the people that shared. One girl was scared to even have kids, that maybe she desired to be married, but was like,
I mean,
kids.
I could relate to that because
You, at one point...
I grew up because again, growing up, being told all these different things and told like, you're going to school, you're going to do this, and family comes later on. And I was like, I don't want that then. I don't want the kids. I don't want the husband. Like, I want to just be solely focused on my career and whatever that was, you know? And then our daughter made the comment, she's like, well, we're here. Oh, we're here.
Deal with it.
Yeah. I'm like,
I saved you from your career.
Okay. Okay.
Just accept it.
All right. And I was just like looking at her like, I don't say that I'm not saying it to boast about it. I'm saying that because that's what my mindset was at a particular age. So at the time when I guess most little girls were dreaming of weddings and being pregnant and being a mom and all these different things, my mind was not there.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying like I could relate to her in that sense of like, depending on what her upbringing is and what she's witnessed, it can be attached to some
I love that. I mean,
things.
Zoe's getting to the age where we're talking about these things more and more. And like, you can tell like she's already planning her wedding.
She's 14.
On Pinterest. Like what,
Yeah.
you know, like she's showing me like, isn't this cute? Isn't this cute? And I'm like, oh my goodness. But I love that about her in that, like, I think that young girls should be encouraged to dream about wedding and family and those kind of things. And is starting a family. I'll just be honest. Like, I think, and I'm maybe a bit more traditional, like as I've, you know, surrendered and yielded to the Lord, I've become a very, very traditional man in the sense that like, I think that starting a family is actually the most important thing that we can do in life. To get married and have children is far more important than anything I will ever do, accomplish in career, all of it. Like all those other things are secondary to this, that it actually is the most important thing.
Which is a very bold statement to make because for most people, they'd be like, what? No, my career comes first and all the other stuff comes second. And it's like, for you, that might be true. But if you're truly following Christ, then no, your career, really look at the terminology of career. It's what you put your all into. Yeah. And so you're putting your all into the humans that you are wanting to birth. And that is a major accomplishment, especially if they're functioning human beings who are on fire for God. Like the things that you see take place with that child is amazing. Mm-hmm. And that is a walking accomplishment right there. For sure. But not to get too off track.
And look, we're going to talk about all these things in different episodes as well. My screen just went out again. What?
Oh, not today, devil.
Why does it happen right when I want to go and play the rest of the video?
I told you we needed to have the backup. Got to have a backup plan.
There it goes. Okay. And I asked him, what's the scariest thing about having your first child?
You're never going to be prepared until you're in that moment. I think that's kind of the scariest part for a lot of people is just not knowing what to expect. I mean, you can ask your parents, you can ask, anyone.
Sacrificing your freedom and sacrificing the things that you want and potentially having to put a hold on like other aspects of your life to take care of this new person that you made. I think that that's definitely kind of scary.
I'm very selfish. I just want to be able to put myself first. I want to be able to provide for myself. And I think people really underestimate how hard it is to raise children.
Okay.
And I just don't know if it's something that I would be able to do.
I've heard it's a lot of work making sure that they're, not sticking a fork in an outlet somewhere or something like that. So
even if you
That's
raise them
a
to be
cartoon scenario.
great people, there's still external factors that could maybe lead them in the wrong direction. So yeah, I just think I would go crazy just like feeling guilty, or I don't even know what, having kids.
If something happened where you ended up getting pregnant before getting married or before your plan, right? Because things happen, and what would you do in that situation?
I think that I would jump to get married.
Of course, it'd be more ideal to be married and committed to the person that you're having a child with, but I feel that it's better to have the child outside of a marriage than to force a marriage because of a child.
Because having a kid, I mean, just the legalities, I mean, financial burden, I wouldn't want to have it to be all on me. I want to have the support, parental support, like for the father and me to also support the kid.
If it was like, okay, I want to marry this girl, like if that's something I knew going into the relationship, yes, I would. But I think if it was just circumstance and it happened, there would be pressure, but I don't know if I'd go through with marrying.
Okay.
I guess.
So in situations like that can happen in life, do you think that abortion is a legitimate solution for that, or would you be in that scenario, would you be against it?
I got pregnant right now. I don't think that I would have the financial ability to support a kid or even the mental capacity. I'm trying to take care of myself and go to school every day, and I don't think I could take care of a child on top of that. So
you see, like there's so much fear around this idea of family and finances. The one young lady said, I'm selfish and I want to like just be able to take care of me. Like she probably feels it's hard enough just to take care of herself. And she actually shared with me that, her mom and dad got divorced when she was a little kid. Then her mom got remarried and got divorced again. So it's like, so again, even the idea, she's witnessing different things. And, these students are, there's obviously scary things about having your first child, and you are never ready. I think even as much as you prepare or you think you're ready for this. You can
have 200 pairs of diapers, 2,000 wipes, all the formula, the gas things, the burping cloths, the onesies. You're just not prepared for what takes place. But that's the same thing to say you're not prepared when you walk into a classroom, when you're about to learn something, because you anticipate something to take place, but you're not fully prepared for what you're going to receive when you're in that classroom and that teacher is talking. So I see it as the same thing. Like, you just don't know. It's the unknown. Well, and as much as people try to explain what parenthood is, and from their perspective, parenthood could be scary. So they're going to put all that fear into you. It's hard. You're up 24/7, nonstop this and that. And just like, you don't get sleep. Do you see? I don't get to do my hair. I don't da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, that's your experience. Whereas someone else who goes through that, it can be a joyful thing for them. It's joyful to be in their pregnancy because maybe it took them such a long time to get to that point of being pregnant. And so parenthood has so many different perspectives, and you don't know until you're in that situation yourself.
Well, I mean, in 2004, when we had Trent, it was $190,000 that they estimated to raise a child from newborn to 18 years old. That's what it cost, about 100, or that's what it would cost, somewhere around there. And I imagine that it's probably closer to like $250,000 now.
I feel like it might have went up even more so.
Potentially. I mean, we could look it up, but like what? Actually, let's see.
Because I'm thinking, hey
Google,
I go into the stores and I see the price of formula.
How much does it cost to raise a child from newborn to 18 years old in 2025?
Maybe the projected.
The estimated average cost to raise a child from birth to age 18 in the U.S. in 2025 is around $320,000.
I told you it went up. I told you it went up because
That's almost double.
yeah,
$320,000.
that's the price of a house.
That's wild.
Oh well, what like starting if you put down for a house, but yeah.
So I don't think, I mean, yes, if you're going to do like college and like they're talking about a middle class family, I think if you are good with money, if you're good with savings, if you're, and look, yes, like having money is important, but I think it's only like, it's a small part of the equation of raising a functional, successful child, human being, right? And I think 320,000 is probably, it's probably a real number, but I think it's also like an American standard. I think that we've set this standard of what a comfortable American dream looks like. And it's like, so for the house and college and all of the activities like volleyball, baseball, like you want to play like club sports and like,
you're talking like middle of life. We're talking like from the very beginning, you want your child in a very good preschool.
Yeah.
What's the best daycare? Are they doing organic? Are they farm to table situation? Like,
sure.
I mean,
but a lot of families don't ever have that kind of luxury to do those things.
Right.
Nor I think is it required to successfully raise a human being. So I think the number is inflated by American culture.
Again, if it's based on middle class families, I don't know what they're doing.
They're doing a lot of Costco runs.
I guess. I don't know. Because I'm out of that loop to even know like
sure
what does it mean to have a baby at that age. But yeah, I don't know. I have to have a conversation with a couple of people who have babies right now.
So we definitely felt some pressure to get married. Almost like a.
I don't think you felt the pressure.
You felt the pressure. I think I had like a little bit of like this social guilt of like to make,
an honest woman out of me.
Make an honest woman out of you because we were very dishonest before.
There's that French word again.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there was definitely some like underlying pressure, and maybe it wasn't as bad as maybe what other people experienced. But even like this young lady here was saying like, oh, I would definitely, feel pressure to like hurry up and get married.
Yeah.
And it depends on what kind of family. I think she came from a Vietnamese family, so it's probably a little bit of a different culture.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I didn't necessarily feel the pressure, but I was feeling the pressure. I don't know. By the time he was like 2 years old, I was like, hey, like, what are we doing here? Like, are we playing house? Like,
well, no, we got married when he was
2.
No.
2.
It's 2006, July. So he was 1.5.
Tomatoes. Okay. Listen.
He was 1.5. Yeah. I mean, about a year and a half into actually parenthood, we got married. So we did it backwards.
Right.
To what I think most people would want to do. I think most people want to have children inside of a marriage covenant relationship. But let's keep going with this video. We're talking about, is abortion a viable solution to an oops? Now, I have a very specific opinion about abortion, and from a biblical viewpoint. And I think people, even though I think some of the people that we're talking to are Christians, they are believers, they may even proclaim to be followers of Jesus. But there is absolutely a justifying of when abortion is okay to do and when it's not to do. And so let's listen to this, and then you can share. I'll be quiet. Okay?
Okay.
For a kid, or even the mental capacity. I'm trying to take care of myself and go to school every day, and I don't think I could take care of a child on top of that.
I think if you're able to financially support them and support them in other ways as well, like if you're willing to be a parent, then I say be a parent. I don't think that you should resort to abortion immediately. I don't think that's even like plan C. I think that should be taken as like a very last sort of option. Yeah.
I don't think that abortion is taken as seriously as it should be. When you have sex with somebody, there is always going to be like a thought in the back of your head that, hey, I might get this girl pregnant, or if you're a girl, I might get pregnant. And I think that that's what's supposed to happen biologically when you have sex. So I don't think that abortion is a solution to taking that chance and then not feeling good about it because you ended up getting pregnant.
I were to be in that situation, I would keep the child. I feel like if there's nothing medically wrong with the fetus, or with you in the pregnancy, that there's any reason to.
Sure.
If you make the choice to get in bed, you make the choice of the risk of having a child.
Yeah.
Or also, I see it, there are some people that can never have a kid that want them, and so you've been blessed with the opportunity to have one.
Sure. There are people that want to adopt. Yeah.
And so there's other avenues you can take as well.
Sure. All right. So we got a few different views, and I really wanted to even get more of a diverse viewpoint. And I was kind of searching for people that maybe even, that had more like strong opinions in different directions. Not to like create controversy, but just to like, there are there's a variety of different viewpoints on this. And they can't all be right, you know? But what do you think about this?
So I guess going back to like when I first found out, the thought did cross my mind, like, okay, I don't know if I actually see myself with this person because of the tumultuous relationship we were in. And it crossed my mind where I was like, okay, is abortion a possibility? But then at the same time, I was having flashbacks because I had gone with a friend for her to get an abortion and realizing she was still dealing with emotional things afterwards, that it may have helped in that moment of what she was feeling, and knowing that it needed to take place for her. But the aftermath, the mental toll it did take on her, I was just like, I don't know if I could do that because I don't know what my mental capacity would be able to handle. And
spiritually, what does that do to you? And like, how like numb do you have to be to go through that and not experience something on the other side?
Yeah. And I'd have to say that was 22 years ago. I believe she still deals with that.
Really?
She's married, has her own kids, they're grown, and just all these different things, but she still deals with, every now and again, it'll come up, maybe a particular date like that. So she still deals with that trauma of having that done. And, it's just especially when you're seeing like other people your age who, again, like the friends that we had at that time, a majority of them were getting pregnant, were not married, and they were getting pregnant outside of wedlock, and just seeing, okay, what it was like for them being quote unquote single parents, because even though they were in a relationship, realistically, you're considered a single parent. Yeah. And just like, okay, like my mentality was like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want that for myself. And so, it did cross my mind. But over time, over the next couple of weeks leading up to that doctor's appointment, realizing like, I don't think I could go through with that. In my heart of hearts, I could not choose that for myself. And just knowing all those different things. And at that time, not walking with Christ, I think had I been, again, speaking for myself, if I still had such strong bitterness towards you, I think I would have went through with it. Because am thinking back at that time, why would I want to carry something that's yours, half yours, as a reminder? You know what I mean? So and now walking with Christ and pregnant, the second half, which we'll talk more about later on, but going through that, and I think there was a point where they had asked me, like, well, would you want to consider abortion because there's something wrong with your baby? And I was just like, no. I could not consider that. Whether my baby is considered normal or not, I could not consider that at that time.
Yeah.
It just never sat right with me. And I say all this, and I know that there are women out there who have had more than one abortion. And it's hard. Like, I understand that it's hard to have made that decision, and now you're living with that because you think that you are okay.
Yeah.
And weeks and months and years later, but deep down inside,
There's still trauma.
Yeah, it still comes to the surface whether you believe it or not.
There's still trauma in your body, and there's still trauma in your spirit from that experience, even if you were knocked out during it. I don't think they do. They don't put you under for anesthesia in every abortion. I think that there's actually cases now where you're wide awake while this is happening.
Yeah.
I just, you're right though. There is a guilt, a shame, a condemnation that can come alongside with this. And we have to know that there is grace in Christ, that Jesus paid for all of our sin, past, present, and future, that he took all of our sin to the grave, never to be remembered again. And that doesn't give us a right to continue living in sin, but it actually frees us from the weight, from the guilt, the shame that causes us to keep the cycle going. And we get free from that and now get to live a new life with new choices and a new perspective and a new way of living.
Yeah. This actually makes me think of the one person who had the biggest oops ever, and that was Mary. Mary had an oops, and
we're talking about Mary, the mother of Christ, of Jesus. Yeah. I talk about the greatest unplanned pregnancy of all time. Yeah.
And just thinking like, okay, like how was she able to? And just like the lyric had said, an angel came down. Just the way that an angel came down for Lauryn, an angel came down one day to speak to Mary and was like being her encouragement. Like, I know this is a scary time. And
specifically the angel Gabriel. I actually would love to just read a portion of this. This is Matthew chapter 1, and it kind of recounts the birth of Jesus. It says, now the birth of Jesus, the Messiah, was as follows. When his mother Mary had been betrothed to Joseph, so she wasn't even married. In fact, she was set up to be married to Joseph. And in the midst of this, before they came together, she was found to be pregnant by the Holy Spirit, right? It's like... Jerry Springer, you are not the father, right? And her husband, Joseph, since he was a righteous man, did not want to disgrace her. Man, like, planned to send her away secretly, right? He's already like, there's no way we're getting married. You're pregnant. You're telling me, you trying to tell me that the Holy Spirit, God himself, that you're now carrying the Son of God inside of your womb, right? It's like, how are you going to believe this? And Joseph actually had to have a dream. So, but when he thought this over, behold, an angel of the Lord. So like an angel had to come to Mary and say, hey, you've been chosen. But an angel also had to come to Joseph and say, hey, she's been chosen, right?
Like, she wasn't stepping out on you, Joseph.
Right.
Cool your heels.
Yeah.
Okay? This child is a gift from God. Like,
not only are children a gift, and the child of Christ is the greatest gift, but I think it just shows the value of family, where it's like Joseph, hey, I know this is not the plan you had. This ain't the timeline. I know this isn't the scenario that you wanted, but raising this family and supporting this family will be the most important thing that you do, right? Like Joseph's mission was to help raise this family. And he's never actually talked about in the Gospels after this.
no,
Right?
not really. No. I think,
I mean, after the age of 12, when Mary and Joseph go to look for Jesus in the temple in Jerusalem, Joseph is not mentioned out there. And when Jesus starts his ministry, Joseph's not even around. They mention him as like the carpenter, and Jesus is the carpenter's
well,
son.
we know he is around because at some point, right, Jesus has a brother. So he's around. He just may not be a part of the story at some point.
Well, yeah, because Jesus had several siblings. So there was a whole family, but, and his brothers are mentioned. James is actually, if you read the book of James, it's actually one of Jesus' brothers. But an angel comes to Joseph and he says, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for the child who has been conceived in her is of the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, or in Hebrew, it would be Yeshua, for he will save his people from his sins. And actually, the name Yeshua means God is my salvation. Now, all this took place so that what was spoken by the Lord through the prophet would be fulfilled. Behold, the virgin will conceive and give birth to a son. This is an Old Testament prophecy, and they shall name him Emmanuel, meaning God with us. Joseph woke from his sleep and did as the angel of the Lord commanded him, and took Mary as his wife, but kept her a virgin until she gave birth to a son, and he named him Jesus. Such a beautiful example of the value and the sacrifice of family. And if anybody is watching this and considering, maybe you have you got news of an unplanned pregnancy, and I pray that you would reconsider that this child is valuable, that they have a future, that they have potential, and as hard as it can be to raise a child, God is with you and actually desires to see this child grow up and become a follower, become a functional follower of Christ, right? And even if they don't, like, I know there's lots of people that are not following Jesus.
Right. You
but they're
just
still,
continue
they're
to
still
pray.
valuable,
Continue to pray and pour into your child, not from a judgmental standpoint if they are not there yet. You just continue to pray. Just like the lyric said, she touched her belly overwhelmed by what she had been chosen to perform. And when you lay hands on your womb, declaring over yourself, over that unborn child, that there is so much more within them and so much more within you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
So I hope that this episode stirred some stuff up for people. And, we'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. In fact, I'm going to look at the camera. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you need prayer, or you know someone that needs prayer around this area of unplanned pregnancy, maybe you have questions. Maybe you have an opinion about this that you want to leave in the comment. We can start discussion there. But I really do pray. I pray for everyone listening and watching that you guys would realize the value of life. And sure, what I would much rather you abstain and wait and find that person you want to spend your life with and do it God's way. But if you find yourself in a really tough situation, pray, seek the Lord, ask God to send you an angel that will speak to you and lead you and guide you. And we believe that is 100% possible. And we are a testimony of God's grace and what he has done in our lives. And our oldest son is now 21. I can't believe I just said that. Our oldest son is 21, and he's just an awesome young man, leading worship, working, finishing school. He's an example to his community. And
and we would love to take all the credit. Like, we have a little bit of credit in that. And all of that is truly God. Yeah.
God has absolutely led him. And when we let go, God steps in, and that's real. And part of that's actually the beautiful thing about parenting is, are you able to let go? Yeah. So I think that's it for episode 7.
Episode 7.
I think this was a beautiful conversation, and I'm excited. Next week, 2005. 2005.
Deep in Diapers.
Do you know what the song is?
I do not remember.
It's a song called
That's what I said.
Don't Lie.
Okay, I'm going to have to...
Don't Lie by the Black Eyed Peas. That's actually the song
I'm going to have to hear that.
Next week. Next week, we're going to talk about cheating. Why do people cheat? Have you ever been cheated on? Have you ever cheated on someone else? And are you able to forgive someone that has cheated on you or lied to you? So we're going to talk about it. It is an important topic, and we're also going to get some interviews from the next generation. So appreciate you all.
Yeah.
Come on.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, bless you.
All right. Bye. Till next time.